Good afternoon again. It's good to see you. How are you feeling? It seems a little bit odd sometimes coming into an office and it's a little bit darker than you would expect it to be. Yeah. The intent of today is to see if we can get you to be as relaxed as possible and get your sleep study started. What this typically entails is trying to give you the most comfortable environment to your preferences, whether that be certain temperatures, certain amounts of light, background noises, anything like that. And we want to use some devices just to measure your breathing, your heart rate, your brain waves, and hopefully if you are experiencing anything out of the normal that might have been contributing to your fainting and your dizziness spells, we can kind of hone in on what might be triggering that. This is the first step in that testing. So do you have any other questions or concerns before we get started? Starting, I'm going to just check some of your basic vitals, heart rate, breathing, check to see if you have anything swollen like in your lymph glands, anything that might be obstructing your breathing, and then we'll get you situated. We have kind of like a little pillow menu as well as different blanket types, sleeping types. One of the main points I want to mention on here is all of the equipment we're going to attach is completely mobile. Nothing about this experience is going to be restricting. I know that that is something frequently expressed when doing these studies. You know, what happens if I need to get up and use the restroom? Everything is going to be attached to a trolley that you can simply get up and use the restroom without any kind of disconnection. The equipment will continue to monitor you. You can always remove the headphones that we're going to put on you as well as the goggles. The goggles are intended to block out all light. So that's one sensory that we're going to try to silence in a way so that we don't have any other visual disturbances. But nothing is going to restrain you. Everything is completely free moving. You'd be able to get up and walk around if you feel that that is a need. And I know that that's frequently expressed. So, alrighty. So just a little bit more of a catch up. How are you feeling? How has this last week treated you? Okay, and things like your work stress levels, home life stress levels, anything at all change? Okay. And did you observe any kind of patterns? You know, certain times that you go to bed, certain foods that you might be eating, you know, when you do find yourself waking up in frequent intervals in the night, what that might be related to? Okay. And how about any of the panic attacks that you had mentioned prior to our first visit? Okay. And have you had any more of those? Okay. And have you been using any of the techniques as far as, you know, grounding yourself, observing, you know, 5 things in the room, 5 different senses, what you smell, what you feel, what you hear, anything like that? Have you found those to be useful? Okay. Overall, would you say that you're better than you were during our first exam? Okay. Any other concerns that you want to talk about before we get started? The initial testing usually is going to take me about 5, maybe 10 minutes to get your vitals. That's the quick part. The second part is going to be dependent on what you're comfortable with. The lab is intended to go up to 10 hours. So if you find yourself really needing that rest, you can take the full 10 hours if you like. If you were to exceed that, we would want to make sure that you're okay, and we'd probably wake you up to make sure that you're not experiencing anything that needs a medical intervention. But you can take up to 10 hours if that is your preference or your comfort level, whatever. But there's no obligation. We usually like to at least get an hour, hour and a half in. If we can go longer, ideally 4 hours is where we get enough cumulative data where, we can make a little bit more sense of it. Hour and a half is really going to be on the short side of things, but understandably, you can't force yourself to sleep longer than your body and your mind want to. So, if you don't find that is something you can accomplish, that's okay. We'll work with what we got. Yeah, there's no bad answers here. There's just answers. Okay. All right, so just starting off here, do you mind if I get a little bit close to you? Just feel around for any kind of swelling or anything going on with your lymph glands. Do you feel any unusual pressure or anything like that? Okay. Just start underneath your neck here. Okay, about behind your ears. Okay, work it down the back of your neck. Clavicle area. Okay. Just going to press on your sinus areas just around your nose here. Okay. And when was the last time that you had a meal? Okay, and what kind of food did you eat? And how about any kind of caffeine intake? Okay. Your glands feel good. Go ahead and take a listen to your heart rate real quick. And do you feel like you're relaxed right now? Okay. And lift up your left arm just a little bit here for me. Okay, not too back. Take a deep breath in for me and hold it. Go ahead and exhale. Okay, and again. And exhale. Go around to your other side on the back. Inhale for me. Hold. And exhale. And again. Okay. Chair on your front. Inhale. Exhale. And one more time for me. Inhale. Okay. Any coughs, any congestion, anything like that you've observed in the last couple of days? Okay. And I'd like to start, I know we're already into this, I'd like to give you some melatonin just to start here. This can take anywhere between 15 to 35 minutes for it to start to take effect. So I'm going to go ahead and get that to you now. And have you ever taken melatonin before? Do you know how it typically affects you or the milligrams that you usually take? Okay, give me your hand. Okay. It's a dissolvable tablet, so You can go ahead and put it under your tongue, or if you prefer chewing it, swallowing it, doesn't matter. It should affect you the same either way. We do also have a glass of water. We have bottled water as well. So if at any point in this process you get thirsty, feel free to help yourself. Okay. Let's do blood pressure. Just relax if you can. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and get you situated here. Let's start with getting you situated with a pillow. I do want to keep you slightly elevated, so I'm not going to put you entirely on your back. Do you know whether or not you have any struggles with snoring or breathing while you're sleeping? Okay. Yeah, it's difficult to know when you're the one snoring whether or not you can hear yourself. I get you. So while you're going to be slightly elevated from the bed itself, I would like to recommend a pillow, something that's ergonomic, that gives you neck support as well as head support. Foam pillows, something like this, are very nice specifically for that. They're squishy, they kind of mold themselves to the shape of your neck. This one in particular has two different supports. One's a little bit more shallow than the other one, so if you prefer your neck to be a little bit more on the tilted side or bent, not bent, arched, then you can put it this way down. Some people prefer it to be a little bit more shallow, and then we would go with the side. We do have other pillows. We also have down pillows. Always a little bit cautious when recommending something like down, because if you do have an allergy that we're not aware of, we may not discover that during the sleep testing. We'll see that your sleep is disrupted by it. So I do recommend something that would be like a foam. Okay. Do you want to feel this and to see whether or not it's the right texture for you? Okay. Let's go ahead and get this situated behind you. Tuck that in under your head appropriately. How do you feel with that? Good? Yeah, it's nice because it's very cool. Okay. Well, that was easy enough. How are you as far as your temperature goes? Do you like to have a light blanket on you? Do you like to feel like you're really snug in the blanket, weighted blanket, anything like that? The most standard, something that's usually pretty quiet when it comes to your sensory, is just cotton. We have standard cotton white blanket. It can breathe very easily, but it's also enough to keep the chill out in the case and that you're feeling a little bit on the chilly side. Yeah, go ahead and feel the texture of that. How does that feel to you? All right. in then. I'm going to leave this a little bit low on the chest here because we are going to have some monitors that we're going to tape to your chest area here. So leave that there for now. Okay. How do you feel as far as needing to use the restroom? Okay. All right, good to hear. If that does change, let us know. Okay. All right. Now here's for the fun part. I'm going to stick these to various locations on your forehead, on the back of your neck. They are a sticky material, but not so much so where they're going to pull hair out. So I'm going to start with right here by your temple. Identical. I'm trying to make it symmetrical on this side here. Reach around the back of your head here. Just on the ridge of your skull, where your skull and your neck meet. Two on your each, or one on each shoulder here. And these are a little smaller, so this is more for heart monitoring, circulation monitoring. And now we're not going to have anything like a CPAP machine on you. We will be monitoring your breathing very closely. So if you do have any kind of struggles that you encounter related to breathing, be able to observe those. Okay. Can you lift up your arm for me a little bit? Okay. Okay, on your back. So now can you hold out your hands like this? I'm going to place these on your forearms. Okay. Yeah, this can be not the most fun place for them because of movement. I'm sorry. Okay. Last one. Okay. All right, gorgeous. All right, let's get our new attachments on here. So starting with the one on your right temple here. Okay. does this all feel? Okay. Do you feel like you can move your arms around pretty freely there? Give you a little bit more slack in the wire here on your arms. Okay. And do you want me to bring the covers up to you a little bit more? Okay. Okay, you cozy. Okay. How's the temperature for you? All right, last call. Do you need to use the restroom at all before we get started? Okay. I have some noise cancellation headphones. These are very comfortable. I'm going to go ahead and first put these on you. I'm going to start with the eye mask because I know that losing the hearing first can sometimes be a little bit disorienting. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to go ahead and just start by putting this eye mask on you. It has these hollowed out areas for your eyes themselves, so it's not going to put any pressure on your eye socket itself. Okay. Okay. And here we go. Okay. And how do we feel about that? Okay, is the fitting on there okay? Okay. Good. All right, and how does that fit? Excellent, thank you. All right, now what I'm going to do is when I put these headphones on, you're going to have the audio go very, very quiet just for a little while. And then I'm going to go through the intercom. I'm going to leave you here in the room. I'm just going to be an earshot away, so if there's anything that you need, if there's anything that you're wanting or you don't feel secure, you don't feel safe, we will be able to hear you at the drop of a mention. So don't hesitate to speak up if you find yourself feeling uneasy. But I want to describe this to you so when you hear the audio go out just for a little bit, you're not alarmed by it, okay? Alrighty, here we go. Alrighty, can you hear me okay? I'm going to go ear to ear here, and please, if you will, raise the hand where you hear my audio the loudest, okay? Can you hear me okay from this angle? And how about from this side? Okay. And at any moment, if you do experience discomfort and you want something adjusted, temperature, if you're hungry, if you're thirsty, if you need to get up and stretch, just let us know. You're also completely able to move around freely as you wish. And if you do need to get up, there's nothing that's going to be restraining you, okay? What you're going to be hearing for the next little bit here is just some of the most common types of audio stimuli that most people report to be relaxing. Things like rain, things like thunder, the sound of a crackling fireplace, wind, that sort of thing. And I want you to focus on your breathing. So to start, if you would, take a deep breath in, and I want you to hold it for 5 seconds, and I'll count with you, okay? Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Okay, gonna do this again. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale. time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. And if you would, please just take a moment to notice the sensations around you. The weight of the comforter, the texture of the pillow, how heavy your head feels in the pillow. Notice the temperatures, the air on your face, the warmth that you're feeling radiating from the blanket, your clothing, your socks on your feet, where your hands are positioned. And as you breathe, you're going to notice some very slight movement of these places. You're going to feel the blanket shift on your chest. Your belly is going to go up and down with each breath. You may even feel the pulse or your heart rate in your neck or your ears, your chest. You may feel items in your tummy. If you've eaten or if you've had anything to drink, you're going to feel that sensation in your tummy area. And they're subtle, but I want you to pay very close attention to them. During this entire experience, you're going to be completely safe. This environment is entirely yours. Whatever you want to do in this environment, you can. There's no judgments, there's no wrong answers, and there's no rules. If your mind wants to wander, let it wander. Every once in a while, I may request that we bring our attention back to something specific, like your breathing, your movements. Your mind is an incredible tool, and sometimes it has a mind of its own. Feel free to let it express itself. If you feel worry, take a moment and feel it. Emotions are not inherently good or bad. They're merely indicators of what's going on. If you feel stress, allow it. And then bring your attention back to your breathing. But most importantly, I want you to know that you do have the freedom to choose. If you have something that is unresolved in your mind, sometimes the best way to leave it is to process it. Focus on the tension that you may be experiencing in your shoulders. With your next inhale and exhale, I'd like you to try allowing those shoulders to fall. Good. You're entirely safe where you are right now. There's nothing that needs to be done right now. No one is going to be asking you to do anything for the next couple of moments. This is your time. Let's focus on those shoulders again. Go ahead and inhale. Relax those shoulders. Good. How are you feeling right now? And where are you feeling that? Do you feel any emotion right now? I want you to locate it. Do you carry that in your chest? Do you carry it in your jaw? Do you carry it in your neck or your fists? I want you to imagine that wherever you're feeling this, relax that source of your body. Relax your tummy. Relax your fists. Allow your jaw to open. And you can kind of feel the sensation of that emotion drop with it, can't you? That's good. You're doing great. I'm going to do a little bit of a breathing exercise, and I want you to focus on the sensation of your tummy as it rises and falls, and also how your clothing and the blanket feels as it stretches over your skin with each breath. I'm going to inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. If you find yourself at any point feeling that emotion in that body part, whether it's your tummy, your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, your fists, periodically check in. Focus on relaxing those parts. Your mind may inevitably wander back to these concerns, and that's okay. When you recognize it, try to guide it back. Relax. This is where we want our body to recover. It's okay for these emotions, for these tasks that we have to do in our life. It's okay for us to set them down for a little while. There's nothing urgent enough right now that needs to be taken care of. You deserve to be taken care of. I'm going to introduce a couple of different audio bits here. And periodically you're going to hear me also chime in, just reminding you that you're safe and that you're okay. You're being looked after. And none of these sounds should be alarming. So just allow them to enter in your ears and enjoy the sensation of being calm. Okay, here we go. You are valued and important. You deserve space and consideration. There's no judgment here. I want you to feel however it is that you feel. Considered, and you're important. You matter. You are wanted. You are not a burden. You are not a burden. You belong. You are deserving. And you're loved. I want you to take this time and sleep. Allow your body to fully sink down deep into the mattress. And just allow the gravity to pull you further down into that soft comfort. If your mind starts to wander, try bringing that focus back to the center of where you feel that emotion. Intentionally drop that pressure. You're allowed to feel. and you're also allowed to set it down. You don't always have to carry it. Enjoy the surroundings of the rain, the calmness that it brings. A warm fire crackles nearby. Gentle thunder